we are witnessing one of the greatest first seasons from a head coach in history. The Bears are 9-3 on top of their division, and they just took down the reigning Super Bowl champs. And Ben Johnson tore his shirt off in the locker room, screaming with the team as they celebrated 9-3. That is the future. He is the future. And it's never been more clear for me. Swift and Monangai both went for 125 and a touchdown today. Both of them. It is a night and day change from last year. The way Saquon is unrecognizable from last year to this year is the same way this Bears run game is operating right now. I said it the week that they played the Commanders this year, earlier on in the season. I was just looking at the post I made. It was October 16th that I made the post. I said Chicago's offensive line is figuring things out. And I watched the film, and if you go back and you see the video, it was clear the growth and the development that they had made. They invested in the offensive line, and now they are getting rewarded for it. Now they are being rewarded. Because the run game has come back to life. And Swift looks like a really good back, and Monangai was a steal. Teams were averaging 115 on the ground against Philly, and the Bears put up damn near 300. 300. And it's not just a product of the players. The second Ben Johnson got there, if you watch just how he calls plays and the construction of his playbook and the game plan going into things, he has to keep the defense honest, and he does. Luther Burden, how many times do you see him per game with the ball in his hands in the backfield? At least a few. I've watched a few games pretty closely this year where I've seen Ben Johnson get everybody involved, end arounds, jet sweeps, you name it. Defenses don't know what's coming their way because Ben Johnson keeps them on their toes with his play calling. The only thing consistent about his play calling is greatness. It's consistently great all the time. You can always bank on that. They controlled the turnover battle. They won the penalty battle. They controlled time of possession. They did everything better than Philadelphia. Everything. Everything. And listen, I am not going to say Chicago is a Super Bowl team. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold still. Caleb looked all right today. I mean, there were some passes that should have been there, and I think a few times his guy tripped or fell over. Hard surface to play on when it's cold out there. But there were also times where, you could still see the inaccuracy. I think the world of Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be the next greatest thing in the league. I think he's going to be up there for a long time as a top 10 QB. Once he reaches that point, he's on his way there. With Ben Johnson, I mean, I think I heard on a broadcast, maybe it was today, that obviously Ben Johnson had the opportunity to work with a bunch of different teams, and he wanted Caleb. He wanted Chicago. He wanted to be in this division and play Detroit again and own Matt LaFleur and compete with Kevin O'Connell, with all these great coaches in this division. He chose Caleb Williams. So I have the utmost faith and trust in Ben Johnson's opinion and his belief in Caleb Williams, obviously. So, look, I'm not going to say they're my favorites to come out of the NFC. In a playoff game, I would still feel uncomfortable choosing Chicago over Philly just because of how talented, like purely talented Philly is. And you obviously still got the Rams and the Packers with how they looked yesterday on Thanksgiving. It's hard to look at that team and say they're not in the race either. there are a lot of good teams here. And with Dallas picking up, I mean, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. It's crazy. I think they're at 6-5-1 now, but they're still a few wins behind. And the Niners, I mean, their schedule is easy. And the Seahawks will make the playoffs. So it's going to be tough, obviously. But the Bears are a dark horse kind of team, I would say. They're a team that you really don't want to see, whether it's at home or on the road, in a wild card game or a divisional game where you're like, this is uncomfortable territory. We don't want to face a team with a first-time head coach that is just hungry and a team that rallies around him with a quarterback that, we haven't seen it happen a lot yet, but really does have the talent to take over games. I believe when Caleb Williams turns that switch on, when he flips it on later in his career, when he gets to that point of like the Josh Allen takeover mode, which I think he can get there, we're going to have a problem. I think every team in the NFL, all 31 teams, are going to have a scare when they see that from Caleb Williams. This is year one. This is year one, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and they're 9-3. That's awesome. This was a huge win for Chicago. Statement. Philly still controls the division because besides Dallas, it's not good. But with that being said, they shouldn't feel comfortable right now because Dallas just beat them, and Dallas looked like the better team, and they have for the past few weeks now. It's about to get real interesting.